This is the garden vlog I meant for you to have last time before the great tree disaster, and that is forever what it will be called. If you want to see what I'm talking about, go back and watch my last garden vlog. I'll put a link in the description down below as well. Anyway, this is the regular garden vlog I intended you to have, so I'm just gonna, let it roll for you.
I'm doing a lot better with it this year than I did last year. These are potatoes and they are huge. And I already have some little baby tomatoes and a little baby eggplant, and I've already harvested some beans. And all of my flowers are happy, and so am I. My carrots are finally ready. I mean, they're not much to really look at. They're pretty small, but I did the best I could, the best I knew how, and yeah, so I'm just going through here and kind of finding them at the bottom and pulling them up, and it's kind of the most fun thing I've done all week, so isn't that sad for me? But I'm so excited! Yay! Carrots! And I think that planting the flowers in amongst everything was not the worst idea in the world. One of my sunflowers survived. The squirrels got all the rest. I'll have to plant more. And what is this? Does anyone know? Because I don't. It's loaded with blooms and is really big. Is it just a weed? I don't know what that is, but it has the prettiest little flower. Oh, and that is borax mixed with table sugar because I had an ant problem. But that seems to have taken care of it. Old wives' tales are not always lies. And how do I know when my garlic is ready? I planted it in November and it is now the middle of May almost. I don't know how to tell when it's ready. Do I just dig one of them up and see what's happening? I planted all these eggplant plants expecting not all of them to make it, and they're all thriving. I'm gonna have to sacrifice one or two because they're gonna shade out all of my beans. And I don't even like eggplant that much. And they were pretty easy. They've actually all been beaten down by the rain a couple times, and they're doing great. Look at all these tomatoes. Look at that one. I'm so excited. And those are my potatoes, and I won't know for months and months whether I did good or totally blew it. I guess we'll see. A little while, week, 10 days I think, after the great tree disaster, my garden is looking really good. It's really recovered. I'm so happy. Yay. I was able to stand everything up, and again, I only lost one tomato. I thinned out my eggplant a little bit. I haven't looked in here in a few days to see if I have any babies. I have a lot of flowers. The beans are still doing well. I don't know how much longer they might do well. It's about to get really hot. My peppers have done poorly this year. I'll plant another rack of those soon and see if I can get some more peppers going. But yeah, I'm happy with how this is looking, especially after everything got knocked over and crushed a little bit. I'm surprised at how well everything's doing, and my potatoes should be ready here in just a few weeks. Yay, I can't wait to take this thing down and see if I got any potatoes this year. And then I'll plant, I think, maybe some watermelons in this bed. I am about to dig my potatoes. I think they're ready. They're dying off and they're pretty yellow, not nearly as vigorous as they were, so I hope I'm not doing it too early. But this little ladybug is about to lose her home. I'll move her over into the other garden. Here, little bug. There. She's down there. And this is doing well too. Well, we're about to say goodbye to the potatoes. This is going to be fun, I hope. The buckets are not for potatoes, they're for the dirt. I have no hopes of getting that many potatoes. Not bad, I guess, for just a few plants, and next year I'll let them go a little bit longer. I think I dug just a little bit early, but that's okay. Now I know.
I have this extra garden box, and we are getting a lot more sunshine without that big tree. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that set up today. There's no reason to wait. It's a small box. I've got enough dirt. I'm just going to, get right on that. I do want it to sit up a little bit, so I've got some bricks. I also don't want the bottom of the feet to rot out just sitting on the ground. So I'm going to pop some bricks under here. Okay, well, that didn't take very long, and now I just need to go grab some cardboard boxes and break them down, and I want to put those in the bottom of there before I fill it up with dirt. Boom, garden. Now I'm just gonna water it and probably put some mulch on top and get some peppers and flower seeds planted, because even though it's really hot, they'll be fine. Peppers love the heat. And I think this is the perfect sunny location for this bed.
These beans are done. These beans are done, 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 done. And something is eating them up, so I'm gonna pull these out today. There's no reason to keep limping these along. But my eggplants are doing pretty good. Got quite a few eggplant going. Anyway, I'm gonna do some garden cleanup. I also need to do some cleanup on my tomatoes. I need to trim up some of these spent branches and thin these out just a little bit, because I have been battling caterpillars and the caterpillars are starting to win. So I need to thin these out and get rid of some of the spent branches. Look at that one. It's just been eaten by, I think it's army worms. I'm gonna get rid of all these damaged leaves. That's just gross. Ugh. Look, they're even eating my tomato. Yuck. I also just noticed that I have some little watermelon with the little baby, tiny little beginnings of a watermelon on it. Will it hang on to that little baby watermelon in all this heat? I don't know, but we're gonna give it a shot. I might have to put up a shade cloth, but I think it'll be okay.
Garden cleanup is done. I pulled up the beans and cleaned out these beds, put down some mulch. I also trimmed up all of my tomato plants and got the gross leaves off. They're just growing out of control. It's pretty insane, but I did give them a very hard trim. I don't think it'll kill them, but they're getting a lot more airflow and there will be fewer places for bugs and pests to hide and less opportunity for mold and stuff to spread. My peppers, my bell peppers have also started coming on. I've got one in there, at least one. Yeah, and a couple others on the make. And the eggplant just love the heat. The hotter, the better for eggplant. They are getting really tall, putting on a lot of growth, and I can see a lot of eggplant in there. So that's good. Yay. And the baby watermelon is hanging on for dear life. So we'll see how that goes. It's growing and growing over here. I don't know what's going on with these squash. They're yellow around the edges, and I don't know what that means. So I'll have to look into that. Likely needing a fertilizing. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to find out. Today, what I'm going to do is plant peppers in this bed. I let the dirt that I put in there settle for a week and put some mulch on top, and I'm going to plant those peppers today. I always overplant. As you can tell, I always overplant. So to make sure I am only planting the amount of peppers I should plant in this bed, I am going to make it simple on myself and just use this pot, and then I'll move over and I'll do this all around the bed, because if I plant, a couple of 3 pepper seeds, I'm going to direct sow these. So if I plant a few seeds in the middle of each circle, I'm guaranteed that they're not going to be too close together. So I'm just going to do that over the whole bed. So I'll safely be able to plant 11 peppers in this bed. And like I said, I'll do probably 2 or 3 seeds per hole, and then I'll thin them once they start to come up, so that I only have 2 actual plants growing in each. We'll see how it goes. It's really hot this time of year, so I might have a bit of bolting, but peppers really love the heat, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. In between, I'm going to plant a little bit of basil and some flowers that will come up around these as well to bring in the pollinators. Another thing I want to do as I plant these is go ahead and put stakes in. It's just so much easier to put them in at the beginning instead of trying to weave them in around your plant roots. The kind of peppers I'm going to plant today I am going to plant some pepperoncinis, Anaheim, some sweet red cherry, sweet banana, purple beauty, and lilac bell, which I've never even heard of, but their peppers are purple. So that'll be interesting. And then I have some basil and a couple sunflowers I'll poke in here and there. So I'm just going to get started. And what I'll do is I'll go around and get down into the mulch, into the dirt, plant my seeds, cover them up, and stake it. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And now this bed is all planted up. I've got my markers all in, and I'm going to give it a good watering. I also planted some basil and flowers over here in the empty space that was left by the beans. I'm just going to see how it goes. It's really hot this time of year, but we are expecting normal temperatures at least. We've been having a really bad hot spell, but we're expecting more normal temperatures and quite a bit of rain coming up. So I'm going to hope for the best. I'm hoping to see things start popping their heads up here in the next few weeks. We'll see how it goes. So that's the update on how I'm doing with my garden. I seem to be doing a little better with it this year than I did last year, and I hope to grow some good peppers in this new bed. I think the heat is not going to be a problem. I plan to keep it watered regularly, and if I need to, I can throw a shade cloth over it because I've already staked it. So until those plants get well established and able to kind of withstand some of the heat, I might need to throw a shade cloth over it. No problem. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, whenever it is, wherever you are.